Hi folks, in this video I will show you how to make a very powerful LED torch out of an old camera with a beautiful lens. So let's begin with the tutorial. Let's take an old broken camera with a beautiful lens, 75-300mm. Changing the lens will also change the light beam, so this schematic will make you understand better. We can now take apart the back part of the camera body, and inside we can already see that we can open and close, focus the lens and everything. But let's see the film that were inside this camera. This is a standard film and we need to measure it using a professional caliber. So it measures 36 by 24 millimeters. Remember 24 millimeters. In fact, I bought this 50 watt LED. This is extremely powerful. It lights up almost 500 watt halogen light. With a caliber we can measure it and it is 24 by 24. I chose it on purpose. Let's take the back part of the camera and there is a structure that holds the film in place. We need to remove it and instead we can put in place the LED. Make sure to put it exactly in the middle and remember also to move it a little bit forward to keep it in focus with the lens. So I cut two aluminum plates and they have exactly the same dimension of the LED. With a marker we can mark the existing 4 holes that were on the LED also on the aluminum plates, and this is the result. We can place these plates inside the back part of the camera. Remember that the base has to be all smooth, so these things has to go away. We can use a small drill to cut them away. Use some sandpaper to remove all the paint and we need to see the aluminum that is on the base. We do the same thing also on the other side. We can remove the tape and we remove also the remaining glue using some sandpaper, and the result has to be like this, all shiny and smooth. I took now some heat sinks from some old PC and the fan also. This heatsink is very old. This was from a 98 PC and I made also 4 holes on the heatsink's base. Let's put together the heatsink also on the back side of the camera cap. With a thread I need to thread the holes I made inside the heatsink. Later you will understand why. I bought also a thermal paste. This is used on the PC to transfer the heat from the processor to the heatsink. So let's put it on all the components, on the aluminum plates, on the camera and on the heatsink, and especially on the LED. Unluckily I made a little mistake. I put too much thermal paste, so put a little bit less and assemble everything together. So the aluminum plates, the LED and another aluminum plate. I remember I put too much grease thermal paste, but it works okay for me. Let's assemble everything inside the camera body. We can put on the other side the heat sink, and using the 4 screws inside the holes we can secure everything very firmly using a screwdriver, so we can squish away also the thermal paste that is in excess. I pass some copper cables inside the camera body and I need to solder them on the LED. This on the right is the negative and this on the left is the positive lead. So using soldering iron I put some solder on top and we can solder the cable in place. As you can see, it is a very precise work and we can now put the fan in place and keep it on top. Now we can take apart the remaining parts of the camera. This will stop a lot of light, so I suggest you to remove it, and this is the result. We can put now a small switch inside the camera and this hole is just perfect. It keeps it in place. We take also a small button and this button can go inside the film holder of the camera, and after connecting 2 wires we can glue it in place.